Have you ever noticed that your female cat has her own unique way of behaving? As if she follows her own rules, always one step ahead, watching everything with that mysterious gaze? Anyone who lives with a female cat knows she's not just a pet. She's a strong presence, full of personality and behaviors that defy simple explanations. In this video, we're diving into the fascinating world of female cats. Because there are things they do, and only they do. And once you understand them, everything changes. If you enjoy learning more about your pet's behavior and want to give them a happier, healthier life, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We post daily videos, always with high-quality content, created with care and responsibility for people who love cats and dogs. By subscribing, you help our channel grow and continue bringing content that truly makes a difference in the relationship between pets and their humans. Maternal instinct. Even if they've never had kittens, many female cats show a behavior that stands out: the maternal instinct. It's as if this impulse is always present, just beneath the surface, ready to emerge whenever a situation calls for care, protection, or bonding. Some female cats adopt toys as if they were their babies. They carry them around the house, lick them, protect them, and even get anxious if they lose the object. Others choose a younger animal, even of another species, and begin caring for it with impressive gentleness. There are also those who pick a human as their kitten. They follow the person around the house, sleep nearby, softly meow when they leave, and even try to clean them with licks, just like they would with a real kitten. This behavior isn't just a sign of affection. It's deeply connected to the biology of the cat. Even outside of her fertile period, hormones and instinctive memories of motherhood influence her actions. And more than that, the maternal instinct is also an emotional expression. It's as if the cat is silently saying, "I'm here to care for you, protect you, and bring you comfort." In times of stress or change, this instinct can become even stronger. Female cats who've never been mothers may become more watchful, more attached to their humans, and more sensitive to their surroundings. They notice when something feels off and often come closer, as if trying to restore balance with their calm, protective presence. This instinct shows just how attuned female cats are to their environment and the relationships they build. They sense when someone is vulnerable, sad, or in need of company, and often approach in those moments, offering quiet comfort. This maternal side of female cats is one of the most beautiful aspects of living with them. It reveals that behind their independence and subtlety lies a deep capacity for connection. Greater emotional independence. If you live with a female cat, you've probably noticed that she has a very particular way of showing affection. Unlike males, who are often more needy and constantly seek attention, females tend to be more reserved and selective. They enjoy affection, but on their own terms, in their own way, and with those they choose. This emotional independence is a defining trait of female cats. They can spend hours alone, quietly observing their surroundings, sleeping in strategic spots, or simply ignoring any attempt at interaction. And it's not because they're upset or indifferent. It's because they know how to respect their own space and expect you to do the same. This attitude is often mistaken for coldness, but in reality, it's a sophisticated way of relating. Female cats form deep bonds, but they're not dependent on them. They come close when they feel safe, when they trust, and when they genuinely want to be near. And when that happens, it's special, because it was their choice. This emotional autonomy also shows in how they handle change. Female cats tend to adapt more cautiously. They observe first, explore later. They don't dive into new situations. They analyze, reflect, and only then decide if it's worth getting involved. Relationship with territory. When we think of cats marking territory, it's common to picture males spraying urine in corners of the house or on objects. But female cats have a very different and much more discreet approach. They're territorial too, but they express it in quiet ways, almost invisible to those who aren't paying close attention. One of the most common forms of marking among females is rubbing against furniture, walls, objects, and even people. This behavior isn't just a sign of affection. When a cat rubs her face or body against something, she's leaving her scent there, using glands located on her head and neck. It's her way of saying, "This is mine, it's under my protection." You might notice she chooses specific spots in the house to repeat this gesture, like the arm of the couch, the bedroom door, or even your leg. And it's no coincidence. These places matter to her. They're part of the territory she recognizes as safe and familiar. This quiet territorialism reveals a lot about the personality of female cats. They don't need to be aggressive or dominant to assert their presence. They do it with elegance, strategy, and an emotional intelligence that's truly impressive. It's a form of communication that's happening all the time, even when it seems like nothing is going on. More subtle communication. Female cats have a way of communicating that often goes unnoticed by those used to more obvious behaviors. They're not loud, and they don't constantly seek attention. They prefer subtlety, body language, and small gestures to express what they're feeling or wanting. While some male cats meow loudly and frequently to ask for food, attention, or simply to express themselves, females tend to use softer meows, almost like whispers. Sometimes it's just a short, barely audible sound, but it carries meaning. And those who live with a female cat learn to interpret these signals over time. Beyond meowing, they communicate through eye contact, ear position, and tail movement. A suspicious female cat doesn't need to growl. A fixed stare and a tense posture are enough to show that something isn't right. Likewise, when they're happy or comfortable, they approach gently, settle near you, and relax their body, conveying trust and affection without saying a word. This subtle communication also appears in their interactions with other animals. Female cats tend to avoid direct confrontations. They prefer to position themselves gracefully, observe from a distance, and wait for the right moment to act. And when they do decide to approach, they do so carefully, respecting the other's space. Relationship with other cats. Did you know that female cats are less likely to get into territorial fights than males? That doesn't mean they don't defend their space. As we've seen, they're quite territorial. But the way they handle conflict is very different. While males often go straight into confrontation, especially when competing for territory or females in heat, females prefer to avoid those situations. They're more strategic, more diplomatic, and often resolve tension through simple behavioral shifts. They might walk away, hide, or simply ignore the other cat until things settle down. This peaceful approach has an evolutionary explanation. Since females are responsible for caring for kittens, they tend to avoid unnecessary risks. Getting into a fight could compromise their safety and that of their young. That's why they've developed more subtle ways of dealing with threats and disputes. Of course, every cat has her own personality, and some may be bolder or more dominant. But in general, female cats behave in ways that preserve harmony in their environment. They observe, calculate, and only act when it's truly necessary. This behavior once again highlights the emotional intelligence of female cats. They don't just understand their surroundings, they know how to navigate them wisely. Female cats have a unique way of being. They're quiet, observant, independent, and at the same time, deeply connected to those they choose to bond with. Every behavior we've explored, from maternal instinct to subtle communication, reveals not only feline personality traits, but also the complexity and beauty of living with a female cat. If you have a female cat at home, you've probably recognized some of these behaviors. And if you hadn't noticed them before, maybe now you'll start seeing her with new eyes. More attentive, more curious, more admiring. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these behaviors have you seen in your cat? Does she have a quirky habit that's uniquely hers? Share it with us in the comments. We love hearing your stories and learning more about your pets. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.